Hey, greetings everyone on this very, very potent and powerful time. I hope that you are all transitioning as smoothly as possible. The energy is very intense, and for those of you who are, experienced meditators, we just move through it right at our center. So I wanted to offer everyone in the community a 3-day series to move through the chakras because these are the energy centers. There's more chakras, honestly, but the 7 ones we'll focus on for this mini series. And I'll be honest with you, I won't be able to explain everything about the chakras in this 3 series, but I want everyone to have a solid understanding about how we can transition as we move through, you know, the new moon, the solar eclipse, which solar eclipses are always very charged and high intense in energy, and then moving into this year of the fire horse. Like there is so much going on. And when we transition through these gateways or portals, it is a chance for us to go deeper into the experience of our meditation practice. And often the chakras actually work in pairs, yeah, because they're very closely linked together. And my wife Alaya teaches the concept of the journey of progression through the chakras when she teaches her meditation on these. And it's really about the journey of becoming conscious, she calls it. And we have to mature these different energy centers, especially the lower ones, because that's where most of our traumas are held. And as we move through these different layers and vibrations and move up to these higher states of consciousness, then there's this two-way communication because we're always receiving lots of energy through the crown. Yeah, always receiving lots of energy here. But what happens is when it does come down through this central channel, remember we're all vibration, science says that we're all vibration and light. When it comes down Shashumna, then it disperses or leaks off out through one of the energy centers or chakras that we have these blockages. Now, think of a chakra as one of the most subtle forms of vibration, and then around that, we have more dense things that build more dense areas of matter, whether that's cells, tissues, organs, and then, the solid physical structures of the body. Now, the root, yeah, and the second, yeah, so sacral and sexual, root and sacral are often paired, and this is where most of us have our deep traumas and blockages. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to harmonize these energies, and we're going to start there because when we look at the root, this is the base, this is our foundation, this is our family. And most people that I meet, I would say nine times out of 10 have quite dysfunctional families, or there's some trauma pattern that we're working through because we only have to look back 100 years to see some of the extreme things that happened to our grandparents that have filtered down through our family trauma system. Now, that root is all about being grounded. Yeah, it's the foundation of your body. And when we think about our root, how do you ground? Yeah, we think about grounding with foods. We think about putting our feet on the ground. How often do you actually anchor that energy in? That is our family, our tribe, our security. And um, when we look at chakras from an archetypical point of view as well, it becomes very practical. Archetypes for me were very intellectual and still until I started to like really look at them through the lens of the chakras. And then we start to see, oh, that actually plays out in real emotional and energetical states that people find themselves in and us in as well. So if we look at, for example, the root, the archetype that really shows up a lot here would be the victim. Yeah, and this is hard for a lot of people to acknowledge often, and unconsciously we might not realize that we do this through our speech, our vocabulary, but a lot of people spend their time in victim mentality. They love complaining, they love blaming, they love talking about drama, and that keeps them stuck in this victim mentality of like everything is happening to me. And really, when we're on this journey of becoming conscious, we have to take 100% ownership of every single thing that is happening to us. Everything. Doesn't matter what you're experiencing. Health, financial, relationships, whatever the dysfunction is, if you can own it 100%, then you have the power to understand that this is not happening to you, it's for you, and it's happening for a greater good. Now, that is the victim. The opposite of the victim in the archetype would be the mother. And when we look at the mothering instinct, it is that nurturing, it's the protective, and most people don't know how to parent themselves. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we must learn how to do, because most people's parents didn't do a fantastic job. They did the best they could with the limited tools that they had. But we have to learn how to parent ourselves. We have to know when our energy's needing to rest, when we need to listen more intuitively, when we need to nurture ourselves. And when we think of the root, we all know it, it's the base of the spine and it's connected to the rectum, everything in the legs and down. And when that's out of balance, this is really the sense of being grounded. This is money, security, and financial security comes up here a lot. Now, I would love to spend an hour to talk about this, but I just want you to see where are the areas in your life where you're showing up as the victim over the mother. Yeah, just have a think about that. And we're going to move up to chakra number 2 because I'm going to pair these with a little bit of physical practice, and I just want to make sure that we are doing well for time. Now, chakra number 2, we have the sexual organs and just above, yeah, like navel, about 2 inches below this whole region. Certain traditions separate these, but we're going to place these 2 points together. So think about sexual organs and the lower abdomen, the womb region. Now, this reproductive or like center is the samurai used to call this, but they don't used to, they call it the hara. And they say that this hara is where a warrior gets all its energy. And when a warrior's hara is powerful, they are undefeatable. And for women, this is your center of creativity. It's where we produce as a species. And even if you don't have kids, this energy center has to be expressed in a healthy way. And the thing is, this is one of the lower centers where our society and culture does a fantastic job at manipulating and hijacking the center. Think about, obviously, sex. Sex sells. This is about sensuality, abundance, and really, it gets hijacked all the time. We get hijacked through the senses. You know, advertising spends millions of dollars to tell us what's wrong with us so we can fulfill this feeling of well-being, abundance, pleasure, and sexuality. And, you know, in the West, I don't know anyone that's been educated how to be in this center in a healthy way where we can generate energy in our sexual center or sacral and generate this feeling of well-being, of harmony, of abundance, or sensual pleasure. Most people are ashamed of it. Most people's first experiences, you know, with having sex is usually pretty traumatic or, you know, not very good. And all of this creates leakages and blockages as we're becoming conscious. And these imprints show up in our life. And that's why when we come into these practices like yoga and meditation, we start to see things clearly and we're like, oh, wow, I've been carrying this for so long, and these patterns start to show up. Now, the unwiring and unpatterning comes really when we go deep into meditation. But often when I'm teaching people how to direct energy to these different points, they say, look, I can't feel anything. So what we use asana or any movement from, the purpose of any of the postures is to move and stimulate and generate energy. So what we're going to do is generate, move, and stimulate energy here. And we're going to use our hands to do that. And then we're going to go into a meditation around these centers. So before we move on, the archetype of this energy center. So energies are, we'll start with the negative, which would be the martyr. For those of you who don't have English as your first language, martyr represents this feeling of self-sacrifice. Like I have to suffer in order to gain success or self-worth or to help anyone. I have to be in this state of depleting myself or giving and over-giving and not nurturing. Now, the opposite of that, the opposite, polar opposite for this part of the archetype would be the emperor or empress. Yeah, it's really this sense of just standing in your power, and there's not many people that stand in their power. And you've got to think about, if I stand up, this energy center is all of the legs, is the root chakra, and then your femurs plug into your hip sockets, and you have your psoas in this region and your hara here. This is where our legs connect in, and we start to generate all of the foundation for the spine. And a lot of people have, like almost everyone I work with lower back pain, we have to look at the chakras. Yeah, we have to go and look at the chakras. And so many people have lower back pain. I think it's like 1 in 4 people in their life will suffer with lower back pain at some point in their life. This center is also to do with the sense of abundance, but it's not. The difference is we have in chakra 1, it is financial security, like how secure do you feel? And then the opposite here is the pleasure of abundance and how many people can actually do that. Because a lot of people are obsessed with either holding money or they don't know how to have a healthy relationship, and they just spend and they release it without conscious thought. Um, okay, I could talk for hours about this topic. But I want us to get a really good practice in because we're going through these shifts. This 3-day window is so important, and I really want us to sit and actually meditate for quite a bit of time. And we're going to do a few minutes of warm-ups. There is so much more that I could unpack and talk about, but let's leave it at that for this session. But this is just the pairing of these two. And I will just add on one more thing. The root and the crown are so closely linked because they are on opposites. And that's, you see this in the spiritual world or spiritual community a lot, that when people open the center and they get really, for lack of a better word, the Academy of Awakening, awakened, they don't have this solid foundation in a root. So all of this, say, spiritual heightened perception and energy that is coming in, they do not have the foundation and stability to be able to anchor that in. And even if you look at these kind of wandering sadhus and mystics in India, they were deeply in touch with nature. They're barefoot all the time. They're meditating under trees. It's a very different way of understanding. And a lot of people open the center up without having the ability to be able to anchor this energy in. So these 2 points are very specifically connected as well, because when that intuition or guidance comes in, that's how we anchor it in, root it, and actually create in the world. Okay, that's enough talking. Let's jump into some physical practice. I think that'll be a fun thing to do next. So you won't need much space. We're just going to stand up for a small section, and then we'll go down to seated. And on every single one of your finger pads, you have about 3,000 sensory receptors. So the fingertips are extremely good at detecting and sensing. And right in the center of your palms here, yeah, the Taoists, or in Qigong and Chinese medicine, they call these the Lao Gong points. And you've seen images of Jesus with his healing hands as well. He's like emanating healing golden light out through the palms. And what we're going to do in a couple of these warm-up sessions is move energy into these centers with rubbing and clapping, do some movements, sit on the hands, and then we're going to go into a meditation on these points. And ideally, you'll be able to understand then with your awareness if you have any blockages there. And as I was talking, you probably got a few downloads where you had memories come back of past traumas or experiences that came up. Do not disregard that. That's actually something coming up for you to be like, look at that today as we go through the meditation. So if that happened to you, keep that in mind. Okay. I'll also open up for Q&A for a little bit as well at the end, just to say hi and connect and ask, just answer any questions. All right. Let's begin. So first thing I would like you to do is establish your chosen meditation posture. Look ahead and find your drishti, your gaze. Remember, as soon as we take control over the eyes, we instantly take control of the mind. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of the space that you're sitting in and of if there's anyone with you, just feel their energy field. Really feel the energy and space of the room that you're in. The light. See if you can sense and feel the field of energy that is within the room that you're in. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth, close the eyes, drop into your center. Keep the eyes closed and just take a minute to attune your mind to your breathing, making your breath even, smooth, and rhythmical. Just make the breath a little bit longer, smoother, fuller. Very slowly, join the hands together in front of the heart center. Set any personal intentions that you have for practice. Collectively, let's all call forth all that is good, honest, true, pure, and beneficial for humanity in this session. May we heal the world through our own capacity to go on the internal journey of healing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go. Begin to rub your hands together. Softly open the eyes if you want to. Get a nice charge with your hands and go ahead and rub your knuckles together. Just skim them across the front of one another. Mid knuckles. Okay. Just to let you know, we're going to stand up soon. Then nails. Back to rubbing. And then clap with your hands perfectly fitting one another. Yeah, so just a couple of very light claps, not too intense, just enough to get some energy moving there. Slow it down and then just separate your hands really slowly and just feel that sticky electric connection that you've created. Remember, your nervous system is literally like electricity that emanates a field, and now you can start to feel that. Maybe you can pulse it, you can inhale and stretch the hands open, and then breath out, bring the hands a bit closer together and see if you can feel some resistance, focusing primarily on the Laogong points right in the center of the palms, but you'll also feel it on the fingertips as well. If you don't feel it, just close the eyes, see if you can sense it. It's almost like a detached awareness. We're not trying to intensely focus on it. We're going into the felt sense of it. Yeah. So what's the felt sense of experience of this energy here? We're not trying to analytically think about it. Yeah. Okay. And then slowly stand up. Feel this ball of energy. And very slowly cross your hands. Bring your left hand first, the right thumb crosses under, and you just anchor your hands just above the pubic bone and just breathe there in a nice kind of stance that's quite powerful. Yeah. Breathe down into your hands. Feel the warmth and the energy of your palms emanating into the pelvis. And bring your right hand, put it on your lower back, like right on the sacrum. So below the lumbar vertebra on the sacrum. Yeah. Back of the pelvis. And then close the eyes or have them open, but see if you can just breathe into the hands and feel the warmth that is being beamed out of the hands through the fingertips, the sensory senses there, and the center of your palms, and see if you can feel the warmth between them. Breathe into that space, and then super gently, just feel that heat. Yeah, you can probably feel quite a bit of heat building here. Put a soft bend in your knees, and then very gently see if you can just spiral your hips, but not circles. It's really like rolling the pelvis around. Yeah, rolling the pelvis around. Breathe. Remember, we're stimulating and moving energy through this center so that we can remove any blockages there. Change direction, going the other way. Again, get the spiraling of the hips. Feel the warmth of your hands. Feel the warmth of the energy in the pelvis. Almost like we're just stirring it around. And, you know, the back of the pelvis, when they do cremation ceremonies in India and the Ganges, the sacrum is the strongest part of the physical structure. Yeah, it's the last thing to actually disintegrate, they say. And the yogis believe it's because that's where we create the most amount of fire and energy. Yeah. Nice. Slowly come to the center. Rub your hands again. Okay, we're going to go back to seated and we're going to start the meditation now. But as you do your rubbing of your hands, we're actually going to sit on the left hand and have the right hand on the lower belly. So rub your hands, find your meditation posture. Rub, 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 rub. And then when you're ready, we do the rubbing. Let everyone get settled. So we're going to do the rubbing, we're going to do the heat, and then we're going into the meditation practice. So rub, 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 rub. Rub, 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 rub. Good. Okay, just to be super clear, because there's quite a few of us here. Women, left hand on the root, right hand on the belly. Men, the other way around. Men, right hand on the root, left hand on the lower abdomen. Now close your eyes and just feel the pulsing there. Feel how much heat is emanating out of the hands and is really just beaming into these lower centers. Now, can you smile into these lower centers? The root and the sacral. Muladhara, Swadhisthana. Chakras. Wheels or vortexes of energy. But now just feel pulsing, feel vibration, and really just make your breathing slow, smooth, and steady. But the object of your meditation, because remember the mind loves to have an object when we meditate, is the energy of the hands beaming in. Maybe you can feel it more in the root or more in the lower belly. Just feel the warmth, feel all the sensory receptors turning on in the hands there, and how placing your own healing hands onto this central channel stimulates it. It's quite palpable. You can really feel this. Okay, stay focused, everyone. Feel the pulsing, feel the energy there. Can you even generate this feeling of being grounded, being stable, of being anchored in your seat? Maybe even leaning into any feelings or sensations of pleasure and cultivating this sense of ease, of peace, and tranquility as we connect to these lower centers. Very gently, you can remove your hands, or you can keep them there if you're ready, and just have your hands flat on your thighs, which is also a very grounding position for the root chakra, with the hands placed on the top of the thighs, because the root is connected to the legs. And really make the breath slow and smooth. Feel how the breath travels all the way to these points. You can feel the pelvic floor diaphragm moving, and for most people, this part of us stays constricted or blocked as we move throughout the day. So now with the preparation, see if you can feel a softening here, or like an opening. Keep working with those feelings of being grounded, being safe and secure inside your body. Because unconsciously, most of us walk around with so many judgments that we never really feel at peace or at home in the body. For some of us, it's decades of conditioning that we're undoing. So keep cultivating these feelings of stability, feeling stable in your seat. And as we really focus on more of the root energy, the base of the spine, focus more on the root. You feel more into the mother, the nurturer. Think of all the qualities that a good mother has. Comforts you. Mother makes you feel grounded, at home, safe, secure, stable in your tribe. And we cultivate that feeling now at the base. If you're not sure how to do that, you literally say, I'm feeling grounded, I'm feeling safe, just feeling it, repeating it with the energy held at the root. know that you have all the resources to look after you. And that the foundation of your being is supported, anchored, grounded. See if you can feel that root energy even below your body on the cushion or chair or sofa that you're sitting on. Maybe you can feel it even further than that as it moves downwards. Energy field just going deeper and deeper. But stay in your parameter of where you can stay connected to this energy. Some of you might be able to go to the center of the earth. Some of you might be able to go into your cushion. Meditate on the real experience for you, because we're all different. Slowly bring the energy back into the body. And when you breathe out, I'd like you to lift up and activate all of your pelvic floor muscles. The rectum, sex organs, and then with the breath in, release and relax everything. Take your time with it. Next breath out. Lift and contract the organs, but in a really gentle way, like you're just massaging them. It's not squeezing or anything too intense. Breathing in, releasing and relaxing. Feel it more as a pulsation as it moves with the breath. Yeah. Every breath out, you start to activate and contract and massage those muscles. With the breath in, you just feel this relaxing, releasing as we get that pelvic floor diaphragm moving and flowing. This is obviously a very exaggerated version of it as we play with some of the energy locks there. Good. Keep going with it. Another 3 rounds. So he's moving with these slow breaths, just naturally lifting, activating and massaging. Try to resist sucking your whole abdomen in, just working the pelvic floor muscles. Last one. Rub your hands together again. And then do the same, left hand first, right hand over the top as you just put your hands just back on the lower part of the belly, under the navel, around the pupil. Just breathe into that space. You can also bring both hands there and do more like a diamond shape if you want to. Whichever one feels more comfortable for the position that you're in. Now, as we move into chakra number 2, observe that martyr mentality, feeling like you always have to sacrifice yourself. There's a big thing in the Western world that we've been conditioned to sacrifice ourselves, push ourselves so hard, to be a certain way, to achieve success, we have to struggle. And can you move into the emperor or empress? That sense of royalty. Keep breathing awareness into the lower belly. What does it feel like to sit as an emperor or an empress over a martyr? Can you generate in the center a feeling of well-being, of pleasure? Smile into the center. Feel how much energy and power is in the center. We've been conditioned to seek pleasure outside ourselves, but you can cultivate it and feel it in the center, the sense of feeling abundant, of well-being, of being grounded in your sexuality. You know, the transition that we are going through right now is all of us just being asked to be more authentic, to live more from our truth. It's like our whole life has been preparing us for this moment to really show up as the best version of ourselves. It's not about being perfect, it's about owning who you truly are. Very slowly slide your hands down onto your hips, onto your legs. We'll close practice with a small metta loving awareness, specifically for being more grounded. So we're just repeating in the mind or in the heart, may all beings be happy within me. Moving energy down into the root, may all beings be happy below me. Feel into the energy of everything you're sitting on. Move the energy out into the building that you're in. All beings be happy in the space that I'm in. If there are any plants next to you, people, just offer them your love and compassion. Move out into the streets or your village. May all living beings be happy, to all of my neighbors. So you're moving through your neighborhood, through your trees, through the bushes, nature around your home. Or if you're in a city, just out into the city to any plant life, to people. May all living beings be happy in your neighborhood as you start to expand now to your village, your town or city that you're in. May all living beings be happy as you start to expand that energy out even bigger, feeling it moving through the root. We're all connected through that mycelial thread network that runs below us through nature. So plug into that as you move through the country that you're in. Some of you that are really visual might see that grid of the fantastic fungi and the connection that fungus has throughout all of the earth, plants, the animal kingdom. Go to the continent that you're on. May all living beings be happy on the continent that you're on. And expand out even bigger. May all living beings be happy in the entire world. Take a moment to feel that. Remember, we have people meditating from all over the world here. Feel that grid of people connecting together, offering their love and compassion to all living beings around the world. Take a deep breath in. Bring it back and bring your hands onto your heart or hands into prayer, and just take a few minutes to acknowledge your efforts and to thank yourself for taking the time to practice. Yeah, for taking the time to go on the path of self-study and self-examination to see where some of those blockages might present themselves in your life and how you can overcome them, how you can undo them. Thank yourself for all the good that you do in this world. Finally, bring the palms together into prayer. Thank everybody in the community for the collective practice today. Take a deep breath in. Let it all go. Very gently rub your hands together, create a bit of warmth and friction in your palms. Cover your hands over the eyes, palms block out the light, cupping your eye sockets. Open your eyes in darkness, feeling the warmth, the light, the energy flood in as you give them some love and kindness. Then close your eyes, bring your hands down together. Take your time. And when you're ready, go back to that same point that you started practice with. Lock on to that drishti or focal point. Have a few moments as you come back into the space, feeling that transformation and shift that occurs every time we practice. When you're ready to move your gaze and your body, please go for it. Take your time, do it super mindfully. Namaste to each and every one of you. Thank you, everyone, for connecting, taking the time out of your busy schedules to practice with me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so, that was quicker than I thought. Yay, hey Mila. This is so nice. So many nice people have gathered for this one. If any of you, yeah, thanks Kelly and Clem. If any of you have any questions, I'm going to open up. You can unmute yourself. I'm going to give a little bit more instruction about kind of what you can do if you would like to transition more smoothly. So at the moment, this first night, thanks Beth, we're gonna, or first day when you're seeing this, is about deconstructing some of the archetypes that we have discovered in the lower chakras. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment today to figure out with the root, where is it you have shown up as the victim in your life, and what's the story you keep telling yourself? What is a disempowering story that you have caught yourself? And if you're lucky, if you have a partner, they can reflect that back to you. Is it about, your finances? Do you complain about them? Do you complain about, your partner being a breadwinner? Do you complain about your partner being, whatever, fill in the blank. I'm not going to talk about partners, but it can be anything. We all have something, whether you constantly complain about traffic or weather, anything that disempowers you, but especially about you. So think about any times that you have disempowered yourself with thinking about that energy of the victim. Own it 100%. Yeah, 100% ownership. Then have a look in your chakra number 2. Where have you shown up as the martyr? Yeah, the self-sacrifice where you think you have to almost like damage yourself to do. And what we want to do right now is really take ownership 100% of everything we're experiencing in our life right now, because we're coming right to the end of the lunar cycle, and then tomorrow we'll start fresh, but we are really black tomorrow. We're going to go Power Chakra and Heart tomorrow, but do journaling. I want you to journal on anything that came up, any of the experiences that you felt into, any flashes or things that came up where you're like, oh, something got triggered in that session that I need to journal about, I need to write about, and rewrite the story. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to do these 3 days is because we'll go through these centers and keep doing your self-study, keep doing your self-work. And what we're doing when we harmonize these centers, we feel it. Like you actually feel it. Yeah, you lose the desire for engaging in activities that deplete this type of energy. And once you become aware of it, if you're new to the archetypical perspective of chakras, just observe it, see what happens as you go through this next 3 days, okay? If anyone has any questions, let me know. I think you can unmute yourself now if you want to. See, should be able to unmute yourself. And if not, I will see you tomorrow. I'll put this session up on the Academy of Awakening page. It'll be private, so feel free to visit it and you can share it with anyone that you want to. Yeah, thanks, Shay. Yep, okay.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Well, post Ekadasi, mate.
Still feeling
Uh,
it? Still feeling it from Ekadasi?
Mate, yeah, I really am.
Yeah,
So thank you for this. Thank you for what you said about the crown and the root chakra also needing to work together.
yeah.
And what you said about the opposite of the martyr, really all really landing with me. And where I popped my hip on Tuesday
Mm,
delivering a workshop. And so, yeah, been tending to a lot of that. So there's been through acupuncture, body work, everything you've been saying is aligned. Um, I, f- I have a question around the root. Does the root chakra start literally from the feet? That's a basic elementary question.
yeah.
And then second, if you've, from your experience teaching, working with people, my thing I get tripped up around is is time. My relationship with time just doesn't feel healthy.
Okay.
And so I then sometimes think I don't need meditation because it's like, why I need to be present? I need to like do all the things right now. And I get caught up in that loop so subtly
Yep.
until I crash and hit pops before I realize, oh no, I've overflooded my nervous system again.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the journey of becoming conscious, as my wife would say. Um, it's trial and error. And did you grow up in London?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your nervous system is attuned to city energy, and city energy is insane. Yeah, it's insane. It's only now you can only navigate in it if you meditate a lot. And there's a classic Zen saying that you should meditate for 20 minutes a day unless you're too busy, and then you should meditate for an hour, at least an hour. And the reason why they say this is because like when you're busy, you're literally taking on so much information, your brain is processing so much, and you're engaging in so much that it's almost like overload. You know, when you've just got all those tabs and windows open on the computer, and then at the end of the day, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe how much I've done. And you need to like turn each one off. Yeah. And then you need to like shut down, clear everything. That's what meditation does for us. And we have to do that in the morning. It's like the reset button where we turn on, and it's like, because otherwise like life will hijack your nervous system, especially when you're looking at those foundational anchor points that you've popped in the hip. If that is not um, stabilized with meditation, then we get hijacked through searching for food and pleasure and these things to
Mm,
fulfill this need, because we've spent so much time outside ourselves rather than like connecting internally to make sure that all these energy structures and that the energy coming in can come in, that we're not dispersed because we're just out. Yeah, you got to remember,
mm,
as soon as you wake up in the morning, consciousness goes out. Yeah, you're
mm,
looking at everything. And it's just it's exhausting. Like you need time to stop. You need time to stop, because life has lots and lots of challenges and problems, right? And um, if we don't consciously show up as our highest version, life will create like lower problems for us to have to deal with. And the problems and challenges are always going to be there, but it's just that when you elevate the different ones, they're more exciting ones. It's like projects and things that you are happy to have problems with, not like popping your hip and
mm.
overwhelmed. And then what was your first question again, Shay? Oh, the feet.
Just elementary feet. Root chakra starts on the feet.
No, so it doesn't start there. So it starts at the base of the spine. Yeah.
Mm,
Think of those chakras as like think of it. Won't get too much into the other ones, but think of like an anchor point being here, that infinite light comes in and then shines down this central channel of Shushumna, and you get these discs or vortex of balls of energy, and the base is literally like the rectum, base of the spine, that area. But it does go down and anchor into the feet. Yeah, it does anchor into
mm,
the feet, but it starts there. That's why even in the winter, it's really important to try grounding and getting your feet on some form of natural like material as much as you can. Ideally, just out in a park if you can, or at the beach, just anywhere where you can be in nature and put your feet on the ground. Like it's really important. Um, and also, it's the closest connection to gravity and that earth element. Yeah. Um,
mm.
yeah. So I hope that was
Thank you, Adam.
a pleasure. And yeah, keep going with the Ekadasi call then. It's a fun one. You'll never be the same after Ekadasi until you do the next one. It's just like if anyone has any questions, let me know. And if not, I will do my best to go live tomorrow at 3 p.m. I think it's scheduled for Madrid for Power and Heart. This one's a fun bridge to move through. Okay, no more questions. Thank you, everyone. So again, take your time as you go through this transition. There's a lot, it's normal, there's a lot of sickness as well. So if you're going through it with the flu or stomach or whatever it is, see it as a cleaning, seeing it as a purge. Ah, there's one more thing, one more for those of you who did stick around. Um, in the Chinese medicine tradition, they say that if you eat a boiled egg for breakfast, this is one of the best ways to start. So tomorrow when you wake up, boil an egg, try and make sure it's runny in the middle, and like rub it with some abundance. And that gold liquid is said to represent abundance. So kind of charge it with all of your blessings and your good luck. Okay, my friends, much love. I will see you all tomorrow or in the catch up or in a session in the morning. Bye, everyone.